You had a plan, you thought everything through, and then bam, everything crashes and your plan no longer exists and you got to pivot, right? A lot of times when this happens to people, they lose it, they throw in the towel, they give up, right? But in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about when you have a plan and you're trying to accomplish a goal, a mission. It could be as simple as going to get gas or going to the grocery, to starting a business, right? To going to get this new relationship or establish this new business relationship. When you have a plan and something happens and it doesn't go through the way you plan it to, you have to pivot, right? Now, instead of throwing in a towel and giving up, there's 4 key questions that you need to ask yourself before you throw in the towel so that you can pivot and still move forward and accomplish all you want in life, right? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what those 4 questions are. And I'm also going to be sharing with you a technique I learned from my mentor, Dr. Jeff Spencer, where he talks about Gocus, so that you focus where you're mission oriented and you get things done, but you also have this peripheral vision that as you go through things around you presents a more efficient path forward. So these 4 questions and Gocus can change your life. Make sure you take notes. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Got videos coming out about business, financial literacy, leadership, and mindset all the time. Now let's get right into it. I say that just to remind you guys, you don't know what's going on with another individual or what's going on with another group of people. Don't ever assume. You don't ever want to draw up conclusions, right? Because someone could be having a really bad day and you know what it's like to have a really bad day and you don't want to add to that, right? So the best thing to do is take a step back. If something doesn't work out or something is not going the way you planned, my mentor told me there's 4 questions you need to ask yourself in those moments, because if something happens, you're expecting a certain outcome and it doesn't go quite as is planned, right? You get frustrated, your human mind takes over. You're going to want to be impulsive, you're going to want to react, you're going to want to do and say something probably that's not that desirable for the other person. You might say or want to do something that you truly don't want, but in that moment, because you're impulsive and you're making your decision based off of insecurities and things like that, you're going to do something and you're probably going to regret, right? Because our human mind is built strictly for survival. It just cares about your organs, it cares about breathing, it cares about just taking care of itself. The human mind care less about your dreams and aspirations, and it could care less about doing the right thing. It just cares about itself, all right? And that's okay, we're all born with that, but you have to take a step back and use applied wisdom in these moments. So yeah, the 4 questions, I'll give you guys those real quick. I was literally just talking to my mentor earlier about this today. But yeah, so if something happens and it doesn't go according to plan, okay, there's 4 questions you need to ask yourself. And this could be anything. This could be someone showing up late to a Zoom call. It could be you stubbing your toe. It could be you getting a flat tire, okay? Or someone ran over your cat. Or God forbid you lose a loved one, right? It could be any of those things. So the 4 questions are, I'll share with you guys. You can write them down. Number 1, before you do anything, you ask yourself this: what do I think about this? Now, when you do that, I stub my toe, I get a flat tire, someone shows up to a Zoom call late or doesn't show up. What do I think about this? Before I give myself the opportunity to let my human mind take over and I do something I might regret, I ask myself, what do I think about this? What that does is it literally breaks the human chain reaction. Because your human mind is going to want to go to the offensive, be like, yo, what's going on? We need to get this fixed. Like, who's responsible? You know, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to email someone to death right now. This is unacceptable, right? We get all emotional, but you got to stop that and say, what do I think about this? Well, you know, we had a Zoom call scheduled. You know, I was driving to work and, you know, I was supposed to be at there 9 a.m. Looks like that's not going to happen now. I got a flat tire, or someone's late to Zoom call. Well, this is not the desired outcome. I don't feel too great about this, you know, and that's okay. It's okay to be disappointed. Disappointment is normal. You have to be okay with disappointment. It's how you show up and it's how you manage that disappointment what's really important, and it can mean so much for your credibility, because that, number 1, is what is at stake 100% of the time, is your credibility, okay? It is your brand, is your legacy, because that's when you're gone, that's all that's left here. Your credit, your legacy, your name, your brand, all those things, right? So what do I think about this? The next thing you say is like, who am I, right? Like, who am I? Are you the type of person, to immediately, go for the jugular, right? Are you the type of person to immediately want to attack someone for a wrongdoing? Most likely you're not, right? If you're a good person, which all of you guys here I know are good people, you wouldn't want to do something like that, right? I was actually, so my assistant, Victoria, I don't know if some of you guys might know her, but her grandfather in England is in the hospital right now because he's got a pneumonia, liquid in the infection in the lungs and stuff. The problem is he's 80, he's a grandpa, he's 80 years old, so he's not responding to the antibiotics. I literally just got off a call with Jeff. Something happened to me. I brought it up to Jeff because he's my mentor. He ran me through the 4 questions, and I feel so much better about it now. I ran her through the 4 questions and helped give her some clarity because she was like basically ready to like jump on a plane and go to England like right now and forget like all of her responsibilities here, which is acceptable. Like, I wouldn't have been mad at her. Like, if my papa or something's in a hospital ready to go, yeah, like I want to be there, be with my family. But I ran her through 4 questions and she realized, this is not good. I love my grandpa. My mom, which is her dad, is not okay right now. She's really upset. I wish I could be there for them. Well, she asks, who am I? Well, I love my grandpa. I love my mom. I want to support them and give them as much love as possible and do anything I can to make the situation better and to cope with whatever the outcome is. Right? That's who she is. She wants to support her. Then the last 2 questions, which is questions 3 and 4, is, what am I going to do and when am I going to do it? So that's when you decide, okay, what is it you're going to do and when you're going to do it, right? So then for her, she's like, well, right now, me being in England, there's nothing I can do. If I'm there right now, there's nothing I can do. He's in the hospital. The doctor's got him. I'm here. I have my responsibilities and duties. So she said, if he passes away, I'll be on the next flight to England. So that she formulated her plan. He passes away, I'll be on the next flight to England. Okay, cool. That sounds like a good plan. If he makes it out and he recovers, then great. It's a scary reminder that tomorrow's no guarantee. But that's it. She ran through the 4 questions and she was able to figure out like what she was going to do instead of maybe making a drastic decision to jump on a plane now where it's maybe not quite necessary, maybe for the family. And she might have other things going on. She doesn't divulge things to me of reasons why she should stay or not. Personal life stuff. I'm not going to get into all that. But yeah, the last 2 questions you ask yourself, you stub your toe, run over your cat, potentially lose a loved one, what am I going to do and when am I going to do it? So that really gives what that does is it lets you hold your sacred ground to deem yourself credible in being able to discern and decision make what the best next move needs to be or what the most efficient path forward needs to be. A lot of people are like, what should I do? Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to do this because this is how I feel right now. I should just make this erratic decision and not consider options, right? Like most people like kind of live their life like that. Like something happens, they take the very first impulsive next move without considering like the possible outcomes. But when you ask yourself, something goes wrong, you ask yourself, what do I think about this? Who am I? What am I going to do? When I'm going to do it? That really puts you through this whole framework so you don't blow yourself up, you don't discredit yourself, and you don't do something you might regret. Like for you guys, if you have an appointment with a client or a Zoom meeting with a client or something like that, there's going to be times where you might run late to it. Maybe it's a check-in call or something like that, or a stats call once a month to do a check-in just to run through their leads and everything. If you happen to show up 5 minutes late to the call or something like that, it could be about anything. You got to go meet your mom at the grocery store because she doesn't like shopping alone, but you show up like 10 minutes late. It could be anything. You're late for something. Instead of apologizing, because there's typically, if you're a good human being, there's typically a really good reason why you were late. Because otherwise, you're just being a jerk or an a-hole, which I know none of us here are, right? So there's typically a good reason. So there's really no reason to technically apologize because we all live in the common denominator, which is called life. And life has an ever-changing terrain that is out of our control. And the only thing that we can do is show up every single day, navigate that terrain, and do the best that we can. Because you cannot control life, no matter how hard you try. Okay? So with that being said, if you're late to go shopping with your mom for 10 minutes, instead of apologizing to her, you change the mindset on that and you just say, thank you for your patience, Mom, let's shop. I'm 10 minutes late. Thanks for your patience. Let's go shopping. Completely change. Because if you start apologizing, oh, I'm sorry, Mom, blah, blah, blah. This happened and this happened. I apologize. I'm so sorry. What the heck? I've been waiting 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. But if you're like, Mom, thank you so much for your patience. I was a few minutes late. Thanks for waiting for me. Doesn't that sound so much better? It's going to save you, if you ran into traffic or if something happened to you, it's going to save you an earful, because you don't feel great about showing up 10 minutes, 20 minutes to a call or a meeting or an event. You want to be there on time. Make sure you guys are thinking outside the box. Just practicing also something called Gocus. My mentor talks about this a lot. It's called goal-oriented focus. We all have heard focus on the main thing, get the one thing done, laser tunnel vision on that one thing. But the problem is if you put up blinders, okay, and you're focused on the one thing, what happens? I can't see anything. I cut out 60% of my vision. 60% of my vision I can't see. I can only see 40%, which is right in front of me, right? Gocus allows you to stand in receivership like you're doing the main thing. You're also receptive to all these other things around you, because new information is constantly coming at us. Right? And if we're not open to receive that new information that can present a more efficient path forward, then we're robbing ourselves of new opportunity. And that's it. I hope you got value out of this video. If you did, please find that like button, smash it up, subscribe for regular videos, turn on notifications, because I got stuff coming out all the time on this channel. You do not want to miss any updates that we're pushing out. Also, in the comments below, what did you think of those 4 questions? What do you think of Gocus? How are you going to implement that in your life? Let me know in the comments. I will read, I will respond. I appreciate you guys so much. Hey, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.